I am working on decorations for the baby shower. The party will have a safari theme. So I wanted to make a big statement and make a beautiful display with large jungle animals. And of course, I decided to make them myself. So on today's show, I'm going to show you how I made my own pretty realistic, almost life-size, large cutouts of baby jungle animals. And I'll show you the easiest way to make these yourself for a party, for a set, or for any event. Coming up next. Okay, so I just happen to have a bunch of foam boards I got from Dollar Tree a while back. This is 30 by 20, and I have a stack of these. So I'm going to use these, put them together to make my large animals. To make my large jungle animals, the first thing I'm going to do is go to my computer, and I set up a page that is 40 inches by 60 inches. That's the size of 4 of my foam boards put together. The different color rectangles represent my foam boards. They are each 20 by 30 inches. And I made them different colors just so I could see clearly how this is going to be laid out. So I'm using Adobe InDesign to lay this out. And I found some stock baby animals from Adobe Stock. So if I put 4 foam boards together, I could fit a large animal like a giraffe about 60 inches, that's 5 feet. And I'm just going to add as many animals as I can fit on this page. There's room for my monkey, a baby tiger. If I rotate some of these, I can fit them, squeeze them in. There's room here for a macaw. And if I shift some of these animals around, I think I'll have room to fit my little baby elephant. Rotate it right up here in the corner. So with this layout, I'm able to maximize the space of 4 boards by getting 5 animals on here. Now next I'm going to prepare to print this out, and I had to print this out in sections, but before I do that I want to change my color rectangles to white, so I have a solid white background. Now I also have a lion with cute little lion babies, and I want to do the same thing for that. For this one I see that I need 2 vertical foam boards put together, and that should cover the lion scene. Now the page layout for this one is 40 inches by 30 inches. Now I just want to change the background to white and place the lion scene on this layout. And I'm ready to print all my animals now. We'll go back and start with the page with all the animals. And to print this, I'm going to have to towel it because I only have a printer and paper that's 8.5 by 11. So in InDesign, this is what the page layout looks like. This is the image, and that little box up here is the page. So I will need to print this using as many sheets as I need to cover the image. So I'm going to click on Setup, and under Setup there is at the bottom here toweling. If I click on towel, it will show me how many pages I need to print out to create this image that is 40 inches by 60 inches. There is an overlap of 1.5 inches. I'm just going to change that to 0.5 inches. And I want to make sure the toweling's on auto. With the 0.5, this makes less pages to print out, and I don't need that much of an overlap. So this looks like this is going to need 36 pages to create this large image. And I'm going to just make sure I have enough paper in the printer. The printer is on just normal paper setting, not high quality or glossy. And I'm just going to go ahead and click print. Now I have a subscription to the Adobe programs because I do a lot of graphic design, but I'm sure you can find a free software to lay this out. You just have to make sure you can create large custom size pages. And whatever printer you're using, it should have the option to choose tiling if it's larger than 8.5 by 11. So here it is printed out. I also had this on collated, so it's going to print everything out in order, starting from the top left, going down to the bottom right. So each of these pages have crop marks where the images line up. So what I'm going to do is cut on those crop marks, and I'm going to cut inside the page. I'm not going to let the knife, I'm using an X-Acto knife, and I'm not going to extend the cut all the way off the page. I'm going to cut inside. So as I turn the page will stay together, and I'll have my cropped image where I could just butt the two images up together when I place them on the board. So hopefully it'll look pretty seamless. So after each cut, I'm just going to turn it face down and stack them in order so that when I turn the stack over, everything will be in order. So now that I have all my cropped image pieces cut, now I can put my 30 by 20 inch foam boards together, and I want to make this a 40 by 60 inch piece. To put these pieces together, I'm using packing tape. I'm using this because it's very strong and it has a paper backing, so it should work well with this poster foam board. Just want to make sure this is perfectly lined up, and I want to make sure there's no space in between the two boards. So I'm going to hold this together and put a piece of tape right on one end of it and another piece on the other end. And that's just to hold it in place while I put a long piece all the way across that seam. So I'm adding tape on the front and on the back of these boards. So I put another two pieces together, and now I'm going to put these two combined pieces together. So I'll have one big styrofoam board that will be 60 inches by 40 inches. And this one is for the layout with the giraffe and all the other animals. I also put two vertical boards together for the lion piece. And now I am spraying my boards with a layer of spray adhesive. I am using a Gorilla Glue spray adhesive. This has a firm hole, but you can still reposition your pages. So this will be really helpful. I'm going to spray this board completely so that the paper really sticks. Okay, so we'll start with the line since I have this out now. I already cut my pages out on the crop marks, and I'm going to start from the top left, and I'm gently placing the first two pages down. I want to make sure that I butt the second page right up against the edge of the first one. I want the bottom edge to line up and the top edge in the center. I want to make sure that all the hairs and everything lines up so it looks like it's seamless. Now this page is completely blank, and since it's on the end, I'm just going to skip that one and go on to the next one. So I decided to put the blank sheets in just so the board won't be sticky when I'm handling it while I'm cutting it. So I have my lion board and my board for my other animals. Now I'm just going back with a little bit of 3-in-1 glue to glue down the edges. In just a few places, some of the edges are sticking up. It doesn't have as much adhesive, and I just want to make sure this is stuck down pretty well before I start cutting them out. So to cut these out, I'm just holding the board up, and I don't want to have anything behind it. And the board is pretty thin. You could use an X-Acto knife, but I'm using a foam cutter. And this is just a standard one I got from Hobby Lobby. They have others that are have different tools that may go faster. But this one, you can punch a hole in it or cut from the side, but it's essentially just burning the styrofoam. And you can just guide it a little more precisely. Since this has to cut through the paper and the foam, it takes a little bit longer than just cutting through foam. But I think it is faster than cutting through with a knife because I can just glide through and be more precise with my movements, and I don't have to saw through the foam like I would with a knife. So after you finish going around it, you can just pop the piece out. So I also want these pieces to stand up. So I'm going to cut some triangles to go on the backs of the animals. And I'll just cut a few triangles out. I might need different sizes, but this is about 18 inches. And I think I'll do 2 bigger ones for my giraffe. Okay, so let's put one on the back of the lion and see how that stands. Now I want these standing pieces to be able to lie flat, so I could put these away and the pieces flat. So I'm going to use the same packing tape. I'm laying the triangle flat. I want the straight edge in the middle. I want the point at the top and the longer edge of the triangle at the bottom. I'm putting the tape down, not right at the top of the point, but a little below. And I'm just going to tape that straight edge down. Now I'm going to flip that triangle to the other side, and I'm going to put a piece of tape on that side. So now when I want this to stand, I will just turn it to the center. It'll work like a picture's frame. I'm putting 2 of these on my giraffe since it's so tall, and I'm attaching these to the legs. And just look at how awesome these turned out. I think these are pretty close to life-size baby animals. And from a distance, they even look like real jungle animals. So for the shower, I'm placing these on and around the fireplace. I'll have some jungle-like foliage and maybe trees and a big giant balloon display behind and around the animals. At the top of the fireplace, I'll have a sign, a neon sign that says something with baby in it. But I think these turned out really great, except for the elephant. I think it's a little too small for a baby elephant with the proportion of the other animals. So I think that's something I'm going to redo. Maybe something about this size, the size of a full poster board, should be big enough for a baby elephant. And I think that will be perfect. I'll just put the other elephant somewhere else and we'll be all set with our jungle animals. So this was an awesome and pretty easy way to create huge cardboard cutouts. And you can actually do anything. You can do a person for their birthday, do different types of characters, and it's going to turn out looking really great. So I'll show you how the fireplace looks after I decorate it for the shower, and I will see you in the next video. Want more detailed instructions on some of these projects? On my Etsy store, for just a few dollars, you can get instant digital downloads of full-color step-by-step instructions with templates for some of your favorite projects. And check out my Amazon page, where you can pick up my Book of Elegant Home Crafts, Volume 1, with all your favorite projects together in one big, beautiful, colored step-by-step instruction book. You can also get separate e-project booklets and full-color printed project booklets, all on my Amazon page. You'll also see all my favorite crafting tools and supplies seen on this show, and you can add them all to your cart for the one-click, fast, and easy shopping delivery convenience of Amazon. On social media, follow me at Your Hustle Home and Your Hustle Home TV. Like, share, subscribe, and your support is so appreciated.